From the first announcement that he was going to drive for Haas in 2021, Nikita Mazepin had some serious backlash from basically the entirety of the F1 community, because him taking that seat meant one of the fan favorites, Callum Ilott, was without a 2021 drive, and Callum Ilott was in championship contention at the time for the Formula 2 series, and Nikita Mazepin was in 5th, and even before this announcement, he seemed to be kind of hated by the F1 community. So while we're here, let's look back on his junior career and see why Mazepin is just so hated. Born on March 2nd, 1999 in Moscow, Russia, Mazepin started karting in 2014. He might have started earlier than this, but 2014 is the only record I could find for him. He competed in the CIK-FI Karting World Championship, finishing in 2nd place just behind Lando Norris, which is, hey, not really anything to sniff at. But he then decided that was enough and moved on to the Toyota Racing Series in New Zealand, where he didn't really do much, finishing the championship behind both of his teammates, which coincidentally included Callum Ilott, while the then Ferrari Jr. Lance Stroll won the title. Seemingly disappointed with how the season went, Mazepin moved into the Formula Renault NEC Championship and the Formula Renault 2.5 Championship, where he again struggled and finished behind both of his teammates in the standings at the end of the year. And for some reason, he thought this was enough, and he shoved himself into the European Formula 3 Championship. Yeah, I don't really get it either. But this year was just another rinse and repeat of the last few times, and he struggled and finished in 20th place behind both of his teammates. But to cut him some slack, his teammate was George freaking Russell, so he had as much chance of beating him as me trying to beat Steph Curry in a 3-point contest. But something happened in this season which really kind of got the hate ball rolling. In the first round at the Hungaroring in FP2, Callum Ilott seemed to have cut off the Russian on track, so acting like any rational human being, he decided that the best way of dealing with this was to walk up to Callum and discuss how the incident went. Or that's what you'd think he would do, right? But instead, he walked up to Callum and decided that his face needed some readjustments via Nikita's fist. Mazepin walked away unhurt, but Ilott walked away with some cuts on his cheek and a badly swollen jaw. Mazepin was later banned from the first round due to these incidents. So, yeah, not really amazing decision making, but he'll learn, right? In 2017, he would retain a seat at High Tech in the same series, and this season was actually a decent step forward for the guy, having 3 podiums and finishing ahead of one of his teammates and actually not punching any British racing drivers. Having seen this progression, IRT stepped into the room and took the young Russian under their wing, and gave him a 2018 seat in the GP3 series, pairing him with the late Antoine Hubert, Jake Hughes, and, oh god, Callum Ilott. And this 2018 season was something else for the Russian, grabbing 3 wins and 8 podiums and finishing 2nd in the championship behind his teammate Antoine Hubert. This was by far the best season for the Russian, following not really much success. The Russian finally looked like he stepped up and proved to the world that he could be a future Formula 1 talent. Following this incredible run, ART promoted him to their Formula 2 team, sitting on the other side of the garage from Nick de Vries, who, can I just say, definitely deserves an F1 seat, but hey, that's a totally different argument or video. Seeing the success from 2018, I really thought that he would be right up there challenging for the title with his teammate. But, oh boy was I wrong. He finished 18th in the championship with no wins, no poles, and no podiums. And then his teammate, de Vries, went on to win the championship. So, yeah, didn't really look good for the Russian. He would later go on to the Asian F3 series with his former team High Tech teamed up with Alessio Deletta, a man with about as much sense as MasterCard Lola. He ended up finishing ahead of Deletta and 3rd in the standings, which to be honest wasn't that hard. And it was kind of a decent step forward for the guy, which is good. Step forwards are good, but I really thought that he could have won the title, but he just didn't, and it was not really great. But High Tech decided that they would give him another chance in Formula 2, and this is where the hate ball really starts rolling. His season didn't really start amazingly. He gained momentum in the later stages, taking 2 wins, 4 podiums, and securing 5th place in the driver's title. Now, 5th place in the driver's title is not really much to sniff at, and seeing how the 2019 season went for him in F2, this was a massive improvement, and some would say 5th place is kind of worthy of an F1 seat, and I would half agree with them, but it was to be decided in the future. But his actions on track were what killed his reputation and the respect he once had. Was some of the worst defending I've ever seen on Yuki Tsunoda in Spa, where he shoved him basically completely off track at the end of the Camel Straight, and we saw how that really could have went, because Roy Nissany did basically the same thing to Dan Ticktum in the sprint race of that round and ended up crashing. For the Spa incident, Mazepin was handed a 5-second time penalty and handed the race win over to Tsunoda. But it didn't end there. He made his feelings very clear where he rammed into the 2nd place board and nearly hit Yuki. He was later under investigation for this incident, and was later revealed that Nikita did it on purpose, trying to hit and hurt the Japanese driver. So, definitely not great. Anyways, there was another incident in Mugello where he rammed into the side of his teammate Yuki Giotto, but to give him credit, he did take the blame for that, so growth, I guess. But the last round in Bahrain came, and this is where the worst defending I have ever seen ever took place. While in another battle, Japanese driver Yuki Tsunoda, the Red Bull Jr. tried to overtake the Russian on the DRS straight. Not liking this, Mazepin shoved him nearly into the wall and nearly took him out of the race. He was later given a 5-second time penalty for that, and I really thought that was going to be the end. But nope, he would later almost do the same thing to Guan Yu Zhou, and then later did basically the same thing to Felipe Drugovich, giving the Brazilian a face full of bollard. He would later given another 5-second time penalty for these actions. And yeah, we can laugh and make memes and go ha 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 at these incidents, but when another driver's safety is at risk, it starts to just not be funny anymore. Also, before this race, it was announced that he was going to be a Haas driver for 2021, and with these actions on track, people were asking Haas to reconsider the decision. And it really started to die down after that, because Mazepin didn't really do anything. But after the season ended, all hell broke loose when Mazepin later released a video of him groping a woman on Instagram, and now people were calling for his head. He released an apology, and Haas said that they would deal with this problem internally with Mazepin. And in my head, I really thought that this was the end for him, and he maybe would learn his lesson and would never do something that inappropriate again. And in my head also, it was the end of Mazepin's F1 career. He would stop there, and Haas would not continue their partnership with him. And then the woman who is actually his friend on Instagram put out a story asking her followers, "What advice would you give your younger self?" I would say, don't let people touch you or disrespect you ever again. So even though she was his friend, she obviously wasn't comfortable with Mazepin's actions. Mazepin would later delete his apology and is now in one of the worst cover-ups in F1 history. And then Twitter hopped on with hashtag #WeSayNoToMazepin, and it wasn't just random people using this hashtag, it was major figures in the F1 community. People like Matthew Gallagher, WTF1 presenter and halftime F2 commentator, Arva, massive YouTuber and Alfa Romeo F1 esports ambassador, and Tiamat Marduk, also a massive YouTuber and a McLaren Shadow ambassador. When major people like this come out and publicly say, "We don't want you in our racing series," it really says something about you. And it's not even a question anymore if Mazepin is worthy of an F1 seat with his talent. And to be honest, I'm just gonna say it. With his actions both on and off track, I don't really want him in F1 either. Because F1 drivers are supposed to hold themselves to a certain standard. Take, for instance, Lewis Hamilton. How he deals himself on and off track is pretty decent. He doesn't do anything irresponsible on track or off track. And it's frustrating to see Mazepin do these because his actions are so far the other way that the F1 community just don't want him in F1. And it's just sad to see because he does have talent. And he could be a Formula 1 star in the future. But everything has just been ruined with all of his actions. And I really hope he learns from this because, again, he does have talent, but his reputation is destroyed probably beyond repair at this point. And it's really sad to see a man destroying his own career like this. So, with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and stay safe, everyone. Don't do any actions like we just pointed out in this video. And also, if you like this video format, please do tell me. I do enjoy kind of making this video format. Tell me in the comments below. Do consider subscribing, liking, and yeah, stay safe, wear your masks, and don't be an idiot. Bye bye.